Hello guys, I'm back from another video game talking about what if Deku was in high school DxD. So, in the last video we talked about how after bringing Cowiner to his, little home, which is not really little, but, about medium size, like pretty large, but not really that large. But after bringing her in and also giving her some clothes, which were just some hand-me-downs from, not really hand-me-downs, but were like some old clothes that were used to be her mother's, I meant his mother's, but they were too small now, mostly from her back in back in her younger years, let's just say that. And after bringing her to his little workshop and also telling her that, he's not really human, that he was a ghoul, and also explaining all of that, she would decide to sleep in, one of the guest bedrooms, and after doing so, after, Izuku would wake up, he would also see her basically just wearing an apron and nothing else. Oh boy, and let's just say Izuku was instantly flustered, which Kalmaner would do it with great effect by basically teasing him. And after a bit of teasing and also a bit of having fun with him, yeah, and also giving him his breakfast, which was actually pretty good, he would say goodbye to Kalmaner, saying that he's going to be coming back very soon. And after doing so, we basically, see him basically with, Issei. And with that, they're basically just having a normal school life. Until they were announced by, the student council, more specifically one of their members, which was... her name was Momo Hanakai. And so, after saying that she wants to, tell him that apparently, Sora Satori wants to talk with him. And after doing so, she would start to leave, and after classes, he would start to leave to go to the student council room. But before that, apparently he was told by Issei that she's, been invited to join what is that called again? The Occult Research Club. Or at least, been told that she needs to go there. After hearing about this, Izuku would say good luck to her. And after doing so, they would go their separate ways. And after, Izuku arrives at the, student council office, he would see a lot of people there, including a blonde-haired boy with grayish eyes, some other people, which I'm not going to be saying because, they were just mostly, in my opinion, just, not really fun characters, except for Tsubaki. And, the blonde-haired guy, which, his real name was, Saji. Or, I'm just going to be calling him Saji for now. So, after meeting up with them, including, Sona Satori herself, she would tell him that she wants to have a little, game session, specifically with chess. And after doing so, they would start talking, specifically what he really is. And after spilling the beans, she was pretty much wondering, why is he here, and what does that mean? What is he even doing here in the first place? And also, Izuku would tell her that he's not joining her peerage, but he would work for her as, some sort of, how do I say this? I guess you can say, powerful ass ally, but not really a part of her peerage at all. And after being told of this, she would accept it. And so, after doing a while of, playing the game, aka chess, Izuku would actually defeat her, and let's just say everybody was just in shock. And after saying, checkmate, he would say goodbye to everybody, basically grabbing his bag as he would say goodbye, and would just leave. And let's just say after, that little match, everybody would just look at her as, apparently she doesn't really want to marry, and apparently she'll only marry if somebody, were to, for say, let's just say, beat her in a chess match. And because, wait for a second, actually, there's also a few rules about that. You can't marry any girls because she's not really into that, at all. Seriously, at all. And, other types of things, for example, family or something of that sort, it doesn't count as well. But when she lost to Izuku over there, oh boy, oh god, let's just say she's blushing like hell and now realizes that she's going to be marrying Izuku. And so after that, everybody was just in shock and would start to leave, knowing that, she's probably going to tell Izuku about her whole, arrangement, especially her, whole marrying stuff. And yeah, let's just say Izuku's definitely not going to be, happy about that. Yeah, so that is basically what happened last episode. And so, let us talk about what happens next. So, as we currently see, Izuku basically leaving, the premises, while he was basically leaving, he would start feeling somebody is watching him. As after, looking around, he would say, how annoying, he would say. As he would grab his, his suitcase, as he would grab his queen K and would swing it around, summoning out, it's almost like, the whole, this part, right? Well, it basically activates as also like a Queen K part, where it basically swirls a little bit and basically manifests as the axe part. So yeah, that's basically what it is. And after doing so, he would say this. I know you're out there, he would say. As before anything else, somebody would jump in and would basically get ready to slam, his/her body into him. As, Izuku would jump out of the way. And after doing so, he would look over and would see the person who did it. He would see a white-haired man with somewhat reddish eyes, to maybe a bit brownish, but he doesn't really know all that much. But he thinks it's probably red. As the man would say this, hello there! As after doing so, he would basically bow as he seems to be wielding a gun, as he would say this, I'm your executioner for today. The name's Fred Selzen. As after saying this, Izuku would say this. My executioner, you say? This is certainly going to be amusing, he would say. As he would grab his queen K, as he would point it towards him, as he would say this. Now, which body part should I eat first, he would say, as he would start licking his lips, as he would start having a maddened grin, almost similar to Selzen, as he would say this. Don't even try, he would say, as he would start grabbing his gun, as he would start firing at him. As, when it did fire at him, it would blast the part of his arm off, as he would say this. You didn't even dodge, he would say. Oh, you're really that weak, he would say. As, after doing so, Izuku would say this. Well, I'm not really weak, but there's something weird about me, to say the least, he would say. As his arm would start regrowing once again, transforming into a bit of this weird-looking purple energy. Almost similar to this. But it would start regaining human skin once again, as he would say this. See? Not really normal. And if you're wondering, no, I'm not a devil. I know that you're an exorcist, and I used to be exorcist for the church. But I'm not the type to lose, or anything of that sort. And besides, taking a bit of your DNA would probably be a good idea. After all, you are used to be a member of the church. Meaning that you're probably, as he would start, grabbing his, probably a high-ranking member. So I can probably get some power out of you, he would say. And besides, that gun seems to be quite interesting, he would say. As he would start pointing his, Queen K towards him once again, as he would say this. Now, time to die, he would say. As he would charge towards him, as he would say this. Think I'll start off at the arm, he would say, with a maddened grin, as Izuku would slice off his arm, as when he did, Selzen would start to scream out saying, You bitch, he would say, You ripped my arm off! What the hell? And that was my fapping arm! After saying that, Izuku would say this. You didn't really mean to say that. Anyway, as he would start grabbing his scythe once again, not really scythe, I meant, his Queen K, as he would say this. Now, time for that lovely DNA. After doing so, he would fire his, Queen K, head, or whatever you want to call it, towards, towards his severed arm, as he would eject, not really inject, but more grab some of his blood. After doing so, the syringe-type object would basically appear once again, and would basically stab, the essence of Fred Selzen into him, as you'd say this. Not bad, but not really as good as, not really as good as, others, you would say. How disappointing. Well then, I guess it's time for you to but before you can say anything else, Fred would start being teleported somewhere else, almost like he's vanishing into light, as he would say this. Huh, I guess he really did escape. Oh well. Next time I see him, I'll tear that bitch apart, he would say. Now, as for that arm, he would look towards the arm as he would start licking his lips, as he would start to devour it. Even though he does have better options like, actually eating normal food, but, he still has that ghoul-like instinct to basically eat human flesh. So, after that, Izuku would start leaving the area, never being seen again. But, nearby, somebody was watching him. Specifically, the white-haired girl in his class. The girl from his class, specifically the white-haired one with somewhat golden-ish eyes, maybe like amber. As she would say this, I should report this to Rias right now. I mean, he probably might be a member of Sora's peerage, but he did say that he's not really a devil. So that means, guess I'll tell President about this. And so she would start leaving. So, after doing so, we basically go back to Izuku. Izuku is basically at home as he would say this. Now, as he would knock on the door, as he would say this. Hey, Calviner, you're there? As she would say this. Oh, I'm coming. After doing so, she would basically walk in, as when Izuku would look over, he would realize that she's just wearing a towel. Her bazongas are barely, being, basically barely being contained by by the towel that she's wrapped her body in. And not only that, the bazongas are about to burst, to say the least. Yeah, let's just say, Izuku's definitely rising somewhere, and it's not the shield hero that's rising. Yeah, so, as Izuku would see Calwinner in this state, Izuku would say this. Calwinner, maybe you can go back inside and maybe change clothes. He would say as she would say this. Oh, I didn't know that you're that flustered just by seeing me, she would say. As Izuku would say this. I would rather just keep my chastity for now, until I get older, as she would say this. You're no fun, she would say. And, by the way, as she would say, as she would start, cling onto his, back, as Izuku would start to shiver a little bit, as she would say this. What does that, little look of yours? And, by the way, how's your day, she would say, as Izuku would say this. Well, I sort of came in contact with one of the devils that decided to, live here. More specifically, the Satori, as after hearing this, she would say this. Sona Satori? Huh. Wait a minute. Do you mean Sona Citri? As Izuku would say this. So that's her real name. Is she, as she would say this, yes. She's a part of one of the 72 pillars. More specifically, she's a part of the Leviathan clan. Or, at least, sort of. I mean, it's now renamed as the Citri clan, but more or less, her sister is the new Leviathan. As she would say this. He would say this. I see. Huh. So I'm guessing she's able to use ice. As she would say, this. No. Wait for a second. No, unlike her sister, she's only able to use water. As Izuku would say this. I see. I mean, it could probably be a good use if I get her DNA, but I would rather not hurt her. After all, if I were, well, you have heard about her sister's, let's just say, absolute weird obsession of her younger sister, right? As she would say this. Yeah, if you do so, you're probably gonna be killed. As Izuku would say this. Agreed. So, by the way, I've been attacked by one of your old acquaintances. His name is Fred Selzen, by any chance, as she would say this. Yeah, the crazy ass priest. She would say with a sigh, as she would say this. I absolutely hate the guy, even though we do have to work together. I especially hate him for looking at my body. I mean, I'm not complaining, but still. As Izuku would say this. I guess so. Anyway, I'm gonna be getting some sleep now. As she would say this. Okay then. Good night. After doing so, Izuku and her would basically fall asleep. So, going back currently to, to Kuo Academy. So, apparently, Issei is apparently the Red Dragon Emperor, or in this case, Empress, because, she's a girl. And now she's currently in, currently being inducted into, Rias' peerage. Even though she already has, one of the pieces, specifically every single, pawn piece into her. As she would say this. Now, Kaneko. As after, arriving, Kaneko would say this. Yeah? As she would say this. Have you found any information about Izuku, right? As after hearing this, she would say this. Wait, you mean my best friend? After hearing this, she would say this. Yeah, I've been expecting him. I mean, I can definitely feel something from him similar to a sacred gear, but I'm not really sure yet. It was something different, she would say. And Sona decided to try and, recruit him. As she would say this, wait, as in the president? She's a devil too? As she would say this, yeah, she's a part of the Citrus clan. Right next to me of the, Gremory clan. As after hearing this, she would say this. I see. Then, wait, then are you planning to basically, as she would say this, no, I'm not really interested in Izuku. After all, I got the Red Dragon Empress on my side. And, by the way, she's, he's probably gonna be, let's just say this. Gonna be having a lot of fun with her, she would say. As, after hearing this, let's just say, Issei is starting to become a little bit angry as she would say this. Really, she would say. As she would say this. Don't worry, she'll not do anything that drastic. Besides, she's not really that type of person. Anyway, what is it, Kaneko? As Kaneko would say this. Well, it seems that he doesn't have a sacred gear, but he's definitely something different. As she would say this. Oh, really? And when she heard this, Issei would say this. Wait, what? What do you mean? And what do you mean that he doesn't have a secret gear? As after hearing this, she would say this. Well, as she would explain her whole experiences. Her whole experience. Including, how he actually fought, against Fred Selzen, aka the guy that literally murdered, Issei. Remember last time? When I told all of you about, how Fred is going to be taking on Issei, well, she, was killed by him. Yeah, oh boy. As after hearing how he actually defeated them, and, showing them a little video, which, let's just say it's magic. Let's just say that. And seeing how he was able to crush him in an instant, and with his large-ass weapon, one of them would say this. So, what is he exactly, said Kiba, as one of them would say this. I don't know, said, wait for a second, said a pretty large, busted girl, let's just say that. Probably in, maybe in equal power to, Rias' bust. Yeah, let's just say that. And she also seems to have black hair and purplish eyes. As she would say this, Ara, I kinda like him, she would say. As after hearing this, Issei would say this. Hands off him, she would say. As she would say this. Oh my, I didn't know that you're that protective of him. As she would say this. Well, I mean, we are childhood friends, so, as she would say this. I see. Anyway, continuing on, I wonder if he's already in, Sonochan's peerage. After hearing this, she would say this. No, apparently he's not. As one of them would say this. So I'm guessing he doesn't like it at all. And decided to not join. Maybe I can find a way to make him join mine, she would say. As she would say this. Maybe, but as before you can say anything else, somebody would walk in. And this person was Sona. As Sona would say this. I heard everything, I heard everything, Rias. As she would say this. Ah, Sona, mind telling me how did you not get, Izuku into your peerage? As she would say this. Well, the reason why is because, well, he doesn't really want to join. As she would say this. Oh, how but before she can say anything else, she would say this. But he did decide to basically join us, but more like a partnership type way. As she would say this. I see. So he's not really in your peerage, but is going to be working with you. As she would say this. Yeah. Apparently he's been gathering a lot of DNA from different, species, and apparently injecting them into himself. As one would say this. Really? Then, is he that okay? Said, Kiba. As Issei, after hearing this, she would say this. Wait, what? As she would, after hearing this, she would look over and would see Issei, as she would say this. Yeah, let's just say he's not really a normal person, to say the least, but he's still pretty good. And by the way, I want to tell all of you this. As after saying some information about him not really being human, and also telling them about what species he's in, or what what he really is, aka Ghoul, one of them would say this. Ara. It's quite interesting. I wonder if he's that sadistic, she would say. As she would start having a little bit of a tingle across her body, as Kaneko would say this. I didn't know that, she would say. As Kiba would say this. So he eats human flesh, but doesn't really want to eat humans? Well, that's a bit contradictory. That's a bit of a contradiction, but he is able to eat human food at least, so he doesn't really need to eat humans all that much. As, after hearing this, Rias would say this. Well, damn it, I should have gone for him instead. But at least I got the Red Dragon Emperor on my side. The Red Dragon Empress on my side instead. Anyway, she would say, at least you'll have a great member in your, not really peerage, but more like in your partnership. Make sure not to do anything drastic. As she would say this. Oh, and by the way, Rias. As Rias would say this. She would say, she would say this. I lost to him. After hearing this, she would say, wait, what? She would say, as after hearing this, she would say this. Yeah, it seems that I lost to him. And not only that, I'm gonna be forced to marry him, she would say. After hearing this, Issei would start becoming a little bit rage-fueled after hearing about this. She would start emitting this dark aura, similar to how, Kaneko is when, not Kaneko, but, Akedo when she's, in her, let's just say, oh boy, in her sadistic state, to say the least. As she would say this. What did you just say? As she would say this. Let's just say this. I didn't want to be in any type of, arranged marriage, because us devils had to do that, unfortunately. But because of this, I decided for myself, if in case I want to get married, I need somebody to beat me in a game of chess, which is, not really a problem. Nobody, and I mean nobody, was able to basically beat me. But for some odd reason, Izuku Midori was able to do that. As she would say this. I see, she would say with an angered tone. As she would say this. Don't worry, I'll try and find a way to at least, how do I say this? At least, explain it to him. And trust me, I didn't really want to do this. As she would say this. I'm just super angry after hearing about this. She would say, she would say this. You're telling me, she would say. Anyway, Rias, as Rias would say this. What is it? What is it? What is it, Sona? As after hearing about this, she would say this. Well, I don't want you to, capture Izuku at all. Trust me, it would probably be a bad idea. She would say this. Don't worry, I don't really need him. Besides, I got the Red Dragon Empress on my side. As, currently, Issei is fuming, as she would say this. Yeah, I'm fine, she would say with a anger tone, somewhat. But she would just ignore it a little bit as she would start looking at Kiba once again with those, fangirl eyes. As she would say this. Anyway, I should be leaving. Now, good night to you, Rias. As Rias would say this. Good night, Sona. After doing so, she would also tell her, let's just say her peers to basically start leaving. After all, it is sort of, late. And so everybody would start to leave. Currently, Izuku is currently, pretty much sleeping in his bed, as while he was sleeping, somebody would appear right beside him. As she would say this. It was a female voice. As she would say this. So, this is the one that was sent by that higher being, the one true god, Jack Superbia. And the reason how she knows me, or at least the me in that world, or at least, the me who actually reincarnated Izuku, is, well, let's just say, back in the olden days, well, apparently he's sort of, how do I say this? Sort of accidentally came to that world. So, yeah, as she would say this. He's quite cute, and quite powerful now, nonetheless. And his secret gear is certainly strong. Soon, you will be my mate, she would say, with a lustful tone. As this woman would be revealed as a girl with, with dark hair and dark eyes. As she seems to be wearing somewhat of a maid outfit, sort of. As she would say this, soon you will be mine. You will be the mate of the Ouroboros dragon, she would say. As she would start licking her lips as she would disappear. So, this is going to be the end of this episode, and if you can guess who that character was at the end, well, I don't know, maybe I'll shout you out, and you can probably, request a what if. A free what if, ticket, I guess you could say. So yeah, I hope you liked the video, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye-bye!